good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, everyone, everywhere, depending on where and when you are joining Africa Online. Well, it is a beautiful Sunday afternoon. I don't know, it's like a combination of spring and fall. My family is eating outside. I'm sequestered away, not enjoying at the moment. What's it looking like outside your door? Today is the last Sunday that we will talk about STEM, and today we will be talking about science. Even though the S is first, we kind of went in reverse. So we're going to be talking about science and how that affects us, how it benefits us, and how necessary science is in our life. I don't know about you guys, but I paid attention in science class. But I could never do the biology part, the cutting open of the worms and all those other things that we had to cut up. I had a girlfriend who did all the cutting, I did all the writing. But science, now I kind of wish I'd have paid just a little bit more attention to the science. And we're going to talk about science today. So welcome to Africa Online TV. We are glad that you stopped by and thought about us, because we are here to talk about things that benefit our brothers and sisters, our sons and our daughters on the continent, and those of us here in the diaspora. And at this time, we will hear the editorial of the day from my co-host, Professor Asang.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, greetings, and welcome to Africa Online Media Corporation. Yes, I believe Hurricane Erin is having an impact on the East Coast. That is where we belong, those of us in Maryland and New York and the other parts of the country, the northeastern part of the country. But that is not going to prevent us from doing what we do every Sunday afternoon, every Sunday evening, depending on your time zone. It is, of course, Sunday, the 24th of August, 2025, the 236th day of the year. And there are therefore 129 days left until the year ends, 129 days to go. Today is the 34th Sunday of 2025, on the 35th week of 2025, if we use United States Standard Week number calculations. It is the 66th day, Ambassador Lisa, of summer. That tells us that we have just a month to go. In fact, we have just 29 days left to fall or autumn. On this day in 2006, Pluto, if you know something about those things in the sky, Pluto, one of the planets, was at that time lost its status as a planet after the International Astronomical Union, IAU, declassified it as a planet and reclassified it rather as a dwarf planet. And according to the IAU, their definition, a dwarf planet is neither a planet nor a natural starlet or satellite. It is, quote, a celestial object orbiting a star that is massive enough to be rounded by its own gravity, but has not cleared its orbit of space debris. First discovered in 1930 by the American astronomer Clyde Thunberg, Pluto is the largest but second most massive dwarf planet in our solar system. The most massive dwarf planet orbiting our planet, it was on Jeopardy 2 weeks ago, is Eris, E-R-I-S. Don't confuse it with Erin, the hurricane that is pummeling the eastern coast of the United States. Okay. On this day in 1991, history in the making, history made, Ukraine, we hear that country mentioned every day. Ukraine gained its independence from the Soviet Union after a failed coup to remove Soviet President, the then one, that is Mikhail Gorbachev, and after the country's parliament, the Verkhovna Rada, passed the Act of Declaration of Independence of Ukraine and put the decision out to the public as a referendum. August 24 is therefore celebrated with great enthusiasm in Ukraine, as it is the most popular day in that country. It is their Independence Day, and Ukraine has always had its own culture and language, even if imperialists are trying to imperil the life of the country. although it has been dominated for centuries by, of course, Russia, Poland, Turkey, and other nations. But today, and for the last 3 years, Ukraine, as we all know, has been fighting an unintended war against Russia, where Russia declared war on it, which was unleashed on that country 3 years ago. So the August 24 holiday in Ukraine has a special meaning for Ukrainians who must fight back aggression and stand up as a sovereign nation. As that goes on, we should recall that on this day in 1949, NATO, that is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, was established as an international or intergovernmental military alliance. It says, the treaty says, which was signed on April 4, 1949 before, that is, it says this was signed in Washington, D.C., and it includes countries like the United States, NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. Initially, the treaty was signed by 12 countries: Belgium, Canada, Denmark, France, Iceland, Ireland, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, United Kingdom, and United States. Today, membership has increased from 12 to 28, and Ukraine was expected to join, but on the rockets of Russia, they cannot join because Russia says no. Whatever, let us go to our thing. So we're neither talking about Ukraine nor talking about NATO. So it is science. What is that? Well, according to this quote, science is a systematic discipline that builds and organizes knowledge in the form of testable hypotheses and predictions about the universe. Yes, the universe where we live. So we can safely call it modern, we can safely say modern science is what we're talking about today, because we need to know what that acronym, that fourth letter, which is actually the first in our acronym STEM, really stands for. It is the natural, is it natural science? Is it just science? What is it all about? So at this point, we're going to turn to the chair of Africa Online Media Corporation, Her Highness, Reverend Dr. Pam Fomenu, and have her welcome us to the show and help us unravel what science is all about. Is it just something that scares the devil out of many of us students in schools, secondary, high, and everywhere else? When we hear the word science, we get chills. So, Reverend Pam, over to you to welcome us to the show.
Niasom, let me congratulate you for being one of the few people that can actually pronounce my last name accurately. Wait, let me just put somebody to the test. Professor Akwichek, what is my last name?
That's a good test.
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot.
Don't put him on the spot.
What is my last name?
Pomunong.
You see, Niasom is one. You see, there's no O at the end of my name. People keep putting an O. There's a U. So Niasom, clap for yourself. Professor Akwichek was my classmate, and after 40 years, he still cannot say my last name correctly. That's why that was exactly what I thought was going to happen. Because a lot of people, even some of my relatives, pronounce it with an O when there's no O at the end. It's a U at the end. So Niasom, clap for yourself.
I think they probably, whoever wrote your name probably spelled it wrong.
Look, that's a politician's answer now. But anyway, on behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I want to welcome all of you. Niasom, your editorials are amazing. You know, Ambassador Lisa, glad to have you on. Dr. Crosslin, Miss Senior Virginia Well, thank you for your faithfulness. Professor Akwichek with Trust Tech Online Academy, thank you so much. This August will put you to work because you've been doing back-to-back with Africa Online and Africa's Brain Bank. So let's clap for Professor Peter Akwichek. You know, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your faithfulness and for sharing your knowledge with the world. And we are hoping that people with that beautiful sign behind you. You will get more students, even if you don't tie it to this program. There are thousands of people that are going to watch it. Thank you for volunteering your time to do this. And we want to welcome all our viewers, those that are going to watch on YouTube and on Facebook. You know, we are discussing the S in STEM. We've been doing this for 9.5 years, and we are not looking beyond Trusted Online Academy for our STEM, all things STEM. So I would hand the mic over to Ambassador Lisa, and you guys can take it for our co-anchor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Pam. And I will not attempt to butcher your last name or Professor Peter's last name.
It's just 3 syllables. I don't know why.
I will not butcher it. Again, we thank Reverend Pam for welcoming everybody, and hopefully by now you feel at home. Our speaker, Professor Peter, is no stranger to us. I've been away, but I believe he has been here for the entire month. So he is a man who really needs no introduction. But today's topic is STEM. I know we were here for technology, and we've already done the E and the M, and now we're here for the S. And we need to know how all these parts need to come together, or how they do come together and make us where we need to go, make us who we need to be. So, Professor, I don't have a question other than to say, what is the science?
Before he answers, Prof, do you have a presentation?
Yeah.
Okay, so after you answer that, you can do your presentation, and then we'll take questions. Thank you.
All right. What was the question again? Sorry.
I was saying, what is the science? Is it still the same kind of science that we did while we were in school and biology? Or, you know, what is the science that is the part of the STEM?
All right. It's what we're going to be talking about today. So hold your peace. Let's get to it. You'll get the meaning right away. All right, guys. Thank you so much for coming. This is another day for our event of science. What is science? How does it affect, or why do we have to learn about science? You must have heard science in college, you hear science in the laboratory, you have science in colleges, you hear science from IT guys sitting down talking about science. You also must have been wondering, how does the moon change its shape? How does it do it? Why is it that there are stars in the sky and sometimes you see them flying across the sky? There's so many things that some of you or some people may think is a mystery, but let's unveil what science is all about today. So let me share my screen and we can continue from here. All right, so here we go.
While we are waiting for the screen, Prof, thank you so much. We're still waiting for the screen to come up. Thank you so much for the amazing presentations. It's been even our students are watching. I posted on the forum for them to watch, to get a sneak preview of what they will get when they get into phase 2. Thank you.
All right, absolutely. STEM, which stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics, is part of science that we are going to be exploring today. The power of science, especially in Africa. Why are we so particular about Africa? Because it's an emerging market where millionaires will be made. And those who will understand the science behind technology, then they will take advantage of that opportunity, which I'm going to express it today. All right. So why STEM matters to Africans' future? Why are we here? Why are we talking about Africa every time? Of course, this organization is dedicated to keep our talent back in Africa. That's why we will talk about Africa till thy kingdom come. Driving innovation. STEM helps us drive innovation. You see, in the past, you heard about cars. Then later on, you hear about hybrid cars. And then lately, you hear about self-driving cars. That is innovation. That is the principle of innovation. And if you don't have science, knowledge, understanding, then you will be wondering, how will this happen? 100 years ago, when they talk about there will be flying cars or be aeroplane, people will say that will never happen. But today we'll have astronauts going to the moon, plane flying across the world. It's all about the effect of science, and it's all driven by innovation. You see, a lot of countries like Rwanda, Burkina Faso is coming up, Nigeria. Why are they having stronger economy? Because of STEM. A strong STEM workforce creates new industry, boosts productivity, and enhance global competitiveness. So therefore, it is essential we stay the course of STEM and educate our own. Solving local challenges. There are challenges that we have in Africa that will never be solved by any foreigner. It is us who can think it scientifically and solve the problems of our own. You've seen a lot of innovation happen in Nigeria where cars are being built today. Can you imagine that? You will be thinking that cars will only be built in Europe and shipped to Africa. No, there are also self-driving cars that are being built in Africa today. So solving local challenges from sustainable agriculture to healthcare, STEM provides the tools to address critical needs on the continent. What about empowering our youth, the next generation of the leaders? Over 100 million African youth need quality STEM education to thrive in a rapidly evolving world. Real world impact. There is there's a place, a virtual classroom called YIA S Science Virtual Classroom, are reaching remote learners without internet, demonstrating accessibility STEM education in our continent. So I would like you guys to find out what this is all about. It's part of this innovation that I mentioned that is actually taking technology to area where there is no internet. Can you imagine? It's like a mobile.
Prof, I'm so sorry. Can you repeat this year? The reason why I'm saying that, because many years ago, I challenged our STEM squad to find a way where our students can learn online without internet access. And nobody did that. So this has caught my attention. Please, if you can spend a few more minutes on this year, please.
Well, this is the whole idea behind this science or virtual classroom, is that it's almost like the same as mobile. You hear about mobile restaurants. You hear about mobile cleaning equipment, cleaning companies, where they come in with the equipment all built into the car, and they drive to a local environment and provide service. So it's something similar to that. So this is a technology where you don't have to be in the classroom. You can assemble in the open air, and these engineers come in fully equipped in their cars. They have their projector, they have the content built already, and here we go, they project to you the knowledge that you need to learn right there in the open air. So it's also the same thing like outdoor movies, where you don't need internet, you just need to capture your content into a device that can be projected through a larger screen. So it's already pre-recorded, and a matter of projecting this content to people who need it in the remote area. So It takes a lot of effort to build that content. It takes a lot of it to equip such a mobile devices to reach people where there's no internet at all. So it's happening. It's an old idea that truly is helping our people in the remote area. So something very important on that. So, but now, do you know that truly I'm so excited about Starlink? For less than $100, I think it's $120, you can have unlimited internet access in the most remote area in Africa. So State is currently using Starlink, which is the most reliable internet access you can find in Cameroon particularly. So it's something that a group or even a school can afford to put internet in the school, in university, even in high school, it's affordable. So I'm sure in the next 5 years, who knows, it may become free. Or some, organization may decide to sponsor internet availability to university and colleges in some remote area. So the technology is coming and there are ways to get the knowledge to the people. Now, let's look at scientific methods. We are all talking about science. You are toolkit for discovery. So science is a technology that you use to discover and understand the nature of our ecosystem. You start with the observation. You notice a phenomenon or a problem in the world around you. Then you formulate a testable explanation or prediction. Then next, you design and conduct tests to prove or disprove your hypothesis. Then collect and interpret the data from your experiment. From your experiment, you now determine if your hypothesis was supported or rejected or why. African application, let's look at African application. Local farmers use this method to test soil quality. Can you see how it impacts us? They use this method to test the soil quality, determining the best crops and fertilizers for optimal yields. Hands-on challenge. Design a simple experiment using local material to test which type of soil retains the most water. This is all common sense that is driven by science. If you didn't have this idea, you'll be planting crops in a wrong soil and begin to wonder why you are not having good yield. So if you follow this scientific method, whereby you take your soil sample, determine the best crop that can work for that, or the fertilizer that will work for that optimal yield. I remember back in Boya, we have a piece of land there that we decided to plant corn. So this land has been there for a long time, not being used. So what we did was continue to cut the grass and leave it to dry in the same spot and get rotting on the same spot. Over about a few years, we decided to plant corn, and behold, we have a lot of yield coming up from that location. Had it been that the environment was not, observed by individual to determine that the soil was not good enough, they will be planting on the wrong spot. So this is simple scientific method that you will use in order to determine some problems and solve the problem locally. As an example I gave you for local farmer. Next is building blocks for the universe. All right, I think this is something that you're going to be excited about. If you watch the universe around you, every element around us, from the smallest grain of sand to the largest mountain, is composed of atoms. Well, that's a big term here, but it's a smaller unit of matter. Energy in its various forms flows and transforms, powering life and driving all technology. Understanding this fundamental concept is a key to unlocking science or scientific potential. Let's look at the African context. Africa has an immense solar energy potential, especially in Sahara and the Sahel region. Harnessing this clean, renewable power can transform lives and economies. Absolutely, there's a lot of African countries that are investing in solar as opposed to waiting for the government to provide you electricity. So they're resorting to power, solar energy, where you can have light 24/7. That is part of science, and it's affecting us today. Forces and motion, understanding how things move around you. Creativity keeps us on the ground. Friction allows us to walk. These forces, often unseen, profoundly shape our daily lives and engineering challenges. Gravity, for example, friction and motion, these are all things that can keep us moving. The force attracting objects with mass is gravity. Friction, resistance when objects rub against each other. And motion, change in position over time, influenced by force. We experience this all the time, and this is all science. But if you don't understand why things happen the way they are, then you'll be in a mystery. You know that when you jump up, you will be coming down back to Earth. When you send an object into the air, it comes right back to Earth. Why is it that? It's not like in the space where things float around, where there is no gravity, but on Earth, we do have gravity, right? There is a force that attracts objects with mass back to Earth. That is gravity. And then when you are swimming against the waves, you will feel force that keep pushing you behind, but you keep trying to swim forward. So that's a force of resistance, and that's friction. Then you see there's a change in position over time. Sometimes you will look at a star at one location in the night. Then after a week, that star is no more in that position. It has moved to some other position. Sometimes you see the moon rising on one side, and then at the end of the day or in a few days, it's set on the other side of the world. That is motion. Again, without this understanding, everything will be mystery to you. This is all science. Electricity and magnetism, again, this is science. It's invisible power at work. Really invisible power at work. You use electricity to power your laptops, light your homes, run generators. Of course, these are some of the fundamentals of science that make us live a better life. Understanding electricity circuits and magnetic field is crucial for modern technology. There are students who go to school to learn electrical engineering. They understand how electricity is generated and how they can connect electricity from one location to another using electrical circuits. Magnetism is a force of attraction and repulsion between magnetic material used in motors and generators. And without magnetism, there will be no motion because it's an opposing force that causes motion to happen. Africa Innovation Spotlight, let's look at that. Local engineers are using their knowledge of electricity and magnetism to create low-cost, durable solar lamps. Low-cost, durable solar lamps. I remember in the days when I was young, we have to buy propane to run a lamp in the house. And when the propane is over, that's it. You don't have light. Today, young engineers are creating electricity using raw material, bringing light to homes without grid access. This innovation improves study conditions for students and extends productive hours. Life science, exploring our biodiversity and health. Interesting. Africa's rich biodiversity. The continent is home to an incredible array of plants and animal species essential for ecological balance and potential scientific discoveries. There's a lot for us to discover when it comes to plants and animals that we are privileged to have. Now, combating malaria has always been a key factor because it's very, very common in Africa. Scientific research on mosquito behavior and disease transmission is crucial for developing effective prevention and treatment strategies against malaria. It's all about science. Traditional knowledge meets science too. So we believe in tradition, but if you combine traditional medicine with science, you get good results too. Many local communities possess invaluable traditional knowledge about plants and healing. You can imagine when I was growing up and I would go to the farm and my parent would tell me, if you get bitten by a snake, this is the kind of plant that you will just try to get the liquid out of it and rub it where you get a bite. Well, I trust and believe that, and that's true too. That helps. And so we are blessed with plants that are medicinal, and if you pay attention to this, you know that we have all the resources to keep us healthy without Western world medicine. How can we integrate traditional African healing practices and knowledge of local plants with modern scientific research to create more holistic and effective healthcare solutions? That would be a good question for engineers or to be engineers to start aspiring in this field. So that's a good question for you. Chemistry in everyday life. Chemistry. You must have heard about chemistry in school, whether you were a science student or not. Even if you did you must have heard about chemistry. How does it play in our daily life? This is science. Chemistry is everywhere, from food that we cook to the medicine we take and the crops that we grow. Chemical reactions are constantly at play. Cooking. Chemical changes transform raw ingredients into delicious meals. That's chemistry. Farming. What about farming? Understanding soil chemistry and nutrition or nutrients is vital for healthy crops. I mentioned about my garden in Cameroon, what happened. Medicine. Pharmaceuticals rely on precise chemical formulation to treat illness. This is all about chemistry, which is science. Sustainable solution in Africa. Let's talk about that. In Africa, scientists are researching and utilizing natural plant extract for sustainable pest control, reducing reliance on harmful chemical pesticides, and promoting eco-friendly agriculture.
Wow.
This protects both the environment and the human health. That is the best thing I've heard, indeed. Instead of buying chemicals to spray your farm and contaminate your food, they are natural, sustainable pest control that come out of plant extract. Good area to invest time and research. Now, let's look at the role of technology and engineering in STEM in Africa, how this is affecting, promoting our economy. Translating science, technology, and engineering are the bridges that transform scientific discoveries into practical, tangible solutions for real-world problems. Yes, that's true. Technology and engineering are the bridges that transform scientific discoveries into practical, tangible solutions for real-world solutions. Mobile health apps. There you go. Now, most African students have a phone. I would say more than 80% of Africans have phones. Can you imagine you have an app on your phone that actually is important for your health? I have an iPhone, and there's an app that actually measures my blood pressure. I don't have to go to the clinic to do that. I don't have to buy additional equipment to use to find my blood pressure. By just holding your phone, you can tell your blood pressure and even your heart rate. This is amazing. You can also measure how many steps you travel a day if you are going to be involved in exercise, which is good for your health. You can measure all that from your phone. So African startup companies are developing innovative mobile health applications as we speak, increasing access to medical information and services in remote areas. This is transformational. This is great. Clean water technology, what about that? Engineers are designing and implementing affordable clean water technologies, addressing critical sanitation and health challenges across communities. Instead of buying water every day like the Tangi in Cameroon today, if you don't buy Tangi, maybe you are not safe to drink any water. But if we implement technology, we can actually get clean water very affordable to people. In my village where I come from, we have a mountain. And at one point, we went home with my wife and said, let's just explore the mountain and see what is up there. Behold, we found a stream of water oozing from the mountain. This idea came to us, said, maybe we can actually collect this water, send it through filtration process, and report the water for our community. And that project is ongoing. Can you imagine?
Prof, what mountain is that?
In Ingi. It's a mountain within our village, Ingi.
Wow, that's how Supermon came about in Boya, in my 2-9.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I was growing up, there was no Supermon. That's where we used to get drinking water from when we were in Moyoka.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going. I was just curious as to the mountain. All right.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're even thinking about bottling the water and shipping to the southwest and northwest.
You should.
So, your STEM journey for all our students who are listening today starts now. STEM is not just a subject. It is a way of thinking. It's a powerful tool that is both accessible and vital for African sustainability when it comes to development and prosperity. Key takeaway today, STEM drive innovation and economic growth. The scientific method is a universal problem-solving tool. Develop those skills and you'll be able to help our continent. Science is integral to everyday life, from energy to health. It's all about science. Technology and engineering transform ideas into action. Resources to exploit. Local STEM clubs. Connect with peers, mentors. Online platforms. Join online platforms and learn from others. Learn from other engineers around the world. Science and technology are keys to Africa's future. The African Union made that statement, and they are right. So the challenge is, what problem will you solve with STEM to our students? Now that you heard about the meaning of STEM, the science of technology that we have in Africa, and how young engineers are aspiring, taking advantage of science and technology, finding solutions to both agriculture, solution in health, what are you going to do when you learn about this? So it's a food for thought and a challenge to all our students. With that, we come to an end and we are open to questions.
Prof.
So, Prof, very quickly, what is holding us back?
Prof, can you stop sharing your screen? And this is
yeah, that was powerful.
Very, and he breaks it down and ties it to the continent and living an open.
Oh, she's.
So what is holding us back, Prof?
I didn't understand you, Nissan.
Yeah. It
All right.
It looks like we have a technical problem.
Yeah, she's back. I think she's back.
Okay. All right.
What was his question?
Yeah, so I'm asking what is holding us back.
Okay, now she's here. Okay. I think knowledge is power. You know, when you have a child growing up, the more this child is exposed to knowledge, the more they learn, the more they practice. So you can see when the child is growing up, they start playing with toys, they put things together, they're watching TV, they are imitating the knowledge, and all of a sudden, an engineer emerges. It is by practice to gain the knowledge. So what is holding us? The question was asked. I would say there's nothing holding us apart from exposure. And that's what we are doing today. We're exposing the importance of engineering, science, and technology in Africa. We are actually motivating our young engineers in Africa to learn more, find solutions, find opportunity online. There's nothing holding back except the fact that they are not exposed. Once these students are exposed, they will use the natural resource that we have and they will develop scientific research. They will do a lot of stuff. I've seen people in Nigeria actually build a plane and they flew it. I saw it from raw material. So, Prof, the only thing holding us is exposure.
may I just piggyback, Prof, you are right. But also, I think the system is also a hindrance, even the government. I think lack of leadership is one of the things that's contributing to holding us back. For example, a few years ago, we had a young man on this program from Sierra Leone. I saw the video of him on a WhatsApp group and searched for him. His name is Emmanuel, I think Mansari or something like that. He built a solar-powered vehicle from all trash.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to start with raise funds on this. By the way, Ambassador Lisa, PayPal has not given us that money. Only 2 of us contributed, myself and Ambassador Lisa. To today, that money has never been paid.
What?
That's another story. Yeah, because apparently GoFundMe got taken over by PayPal. So I don't know. Something got dropped in the ball somewhere. That's another story for another time. But I'm saying when this young man takes that vehicle out in Sierra Leone, it causes so much congestion. I was told, I've not vetted this, that the government or the police would tell him to keep the car at home, not to bring it out, because instead of promoting it and showcasing it,
wow,
and even encouraging this young man, you know, so the government is holding us back, lack of leadership is holding us back, and then sometimes ignorance. Sometimes these people don't know, they don't have the information to transform these things. But they say the necessity is the mother of all invention. You will be shocked what these young people are inventing out of necessity. You will be shocked. You know, so we'll continue to do this. We've been doing this for 9.5 years. Last year, Prof, I know you brought a whole team, but to tell you the truth, you are a one-man STEM giant. We don't need a whole team. And I am truly, you are not wasting your time here, my brother. You're not. You may not know the impact that you are having, but this information is going to reach hundreds of thousands of people. We're not going to take it down. So thank you so much. I just wanted to weigh in on that, what's holding us back. I see our Chief Medical Director, Dr. Kingsley Ogoji, is on. Dr. Ogoji, I know you've been enjoying Africa. The mic is yours, my brother, and please show us your face. I know you're not delivering babies right now.
And I have questions, so
okay.
Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Good
All
afternoon.
right.
How are you? We're doing good.
We cannot see you well, but we can hear you.
You can't see me well? What's going on?
We're seeing the coconut tree behind.
Yeah, you can't see you, and
your camera may be, you may want to wipe your camera.
No, he may need to turn around because it looks like the light is behind him instead of in front of him.
Yeah, the light is
okay. The light is behind you. It's on your back.
We like that coconut and that
Ambassador Lisa, you can ask your question.
Yes, so Professor Peter, that was a very impressive presentation that you gave us. Thank you so much. But I was trying to write down a couple questions. One, I wanted to say thank you. 2, the low-cost solar lights that are being made without grids. And we know that Africa has a lot of natural sunlight, and I don't understand why that somebody has not gone over and begun harvesting that light and making solar panels for these homes. That was one of my questions about the lights. Are they already in production? Are they ready for purchasing? And then my second question, I think, which is my most important one of your slides talked about combining the traditional medicines and plants and incorporating it into, I guess, modern medicine. My question about that is, how do we get the people who, I guess we could say, who are more educated, more mature, thinking past the traditional? How can we get them to get away from the fear of the traditional, thinking that this is witchcraft and all those other things, and begin to move into getting that natural medicine, that plants?
Well, that's a great question indeed, because I myself was thinking, how did this, because we all grow with traditional medicine, and some people believe 100% on it. Some people do not even believe on it at all. So if this is a new area for us as we try to educate our young engineers, when the mind is curious, then they will begin to think about, but if a traditional medicine is used and it works, they will be spared to check to find out what ingredients are in the plant. It will now take them an excitement to go find out, to do research on such a medicinal plant. And then once that is found, then of course they can now use that knowledge to come up with a drug that is useful. So if the traditional medicine was not the first step in the way of medicine, you probably will not have an idea of what kind of medicine to create. So that's why it is essential to even open up and be open-minded about traditional medicine, learn from what they are doing, and then use that idea to do more research on the traditional medicine, and they come up with a drug. So that's how I see it. But, you know, there's a myth in most African countries. They believe that traditional medicine is witchcraft or something like that. Because
so are you suggesting? I'm glad Dr. Goji is here because he's a physician who is here in the States, plus he's practicing back home as well. So are you saying that our medical doctors on the continent should go back and sit at the feet of some of our traditional medicine men in Africa to learn, or even their mamas and their grandmothers who went out in the field and got those leaves, got those fruits and berries and came back home and made something to heal the children? Are we saying that they should be sitting at each other's feet? Let me put it like that.
Right, exactly. They should have an open mind.
Yes.
They should not just dismiss traditional medicine. They should embrace it, learn from it, and they come up with a better solution.
Can I weigh in real quick on that? Okay, couple of things. In December 2009, I did a presentation at the National Hospital in Abuja where we're taking compounding too. And the Minister of Health at the time, it's a Yoruba name. I think his name was Osete Maya. Because I kept calling him with the name of the Chief Justice and everybody was laughing. That was his name. I don't know if the first name was Babatunde, something like that. But anyway, he was endorsing what we're trying to do, saying that a generation ago, before Big Pharma came to Nigeria, pharmacists were making medicines from scratch.
Mm-hmm.
And herbalists were making medicines from scratch. And there are still a lot of people, herbalists, doing the same thing. I had a relative who was born natural. All of a sudden, his legs caved in, and they were talking about surgery, and the mother did not want surgery. So she took him to a herbalist, and the guy built braces for his legs and used some herbs to massage the legs, and it corrected the problem. Even with this hernia, you know, they call this big children that are born with big nerve, or Dr. Ogoji can weigh in on that. This person took them to a herbalist, something that was supposed to have surgery. They just put a pipe on it and blew air into it, and the thing pushed the thing back in and fixed it. So, and there are people, even here, there are doctors that are naturopathic medicine doctors, you know, so we still have even the drugs, even though most of the active pharmaceutical ingredients come from China or India, they are coming from plants. In Cameroon, Prof, I don't know if you know this or not, around Mutengene, I don't know if that's called My 16, there's a company that I think used to be called Plantecam or something. I don't remember the name. I think it was something like Plantecam. That's what they do. So it's still there. And at the time, those herbal medicines, most of them did not have adverse side effects, like all these chemicals that we are putting in our bodies now. Just know that every time you put a medication in your system, there's a potential of side effects because your body considers it a foreign object. There's no medication, there's no commercially available drugs that doesn't have a side effect.
Right.
They may claim that it doesn't have side effect. I don't even know who in the right mind will claim that, because your body will react to it because it's not natural. So we need to promote that. but I wanted to weigh in on that. And I see Dr. Goji is lighting now. We can see your face.
Yes, we can see him. Yes.
All right, Dr. Goji.
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I've been away for the past almost 2 months.
Too much enjoyment.
Yeah, I'm on sabbatical leave. Coming back in October, but I'll be back. I'll be in New York this week.
You better be there.
Yeah, I'll be there. So, science and what's holding us back is a big question. Before the white man came with their pharmaceuticals and all their medical knowledge, people in Africa were treating diseases. And most medications originate from plants, believe it or not. The only problem we have is that they don't have a supporting environment that can enable people to fine-tune their knowledge and minimize and bring out the exact what we call the active ingredient from these plants, so use them to minimize side effects. So the problem we have is right from the time of colonization and neo-colonialism, we have been programmed to dislike anything Africa, anything black, anything that we are.
Right.
In fact, I like not to digress the topic. The white man told us that the devil is black and Jesus Christ is white. You know, that's to let us know that black is evil. And they taught the white people in America that the devil is an old white man with horns. So these are all mental slavery that make us want everything foreign. In that way, we don't take care of our own medicinal plants, our own local medicine, and we should actually pay attention and develop them. A good example is if you ask any dentist in this country, he will tell you, people come from Africa with in their 70s and 80s, go to dentists and their teeth is perfect. Perfect teeth. Never been to a dentist before. Our teeth in this part of the world get rotten and fall off because we use things like toothbrushes, chewing sticks and animal animal feather to as flossing. So my grandfather brush and floss every day without toothbrush or floss. We use tree for to brush our teeth. So if the environment is ripe, but I mean good government facilities like power, environment, engineering, like machines, people in Africa will do wonders. We can develop our own medications and use our own medications. But the problem is, even before, going backward, 20 years ago, the best tire in Nigeria was called Dunlop Elite, made in Nigeria. Tire for vehicles, motor vehicle tires.
Okay.
This company was in Nigeria for years because at that time we have steady power supply. When the power supply became political, there's no power in Nigeria, the company can no longer make money, and it folded and moved to Ghana.
Wow.
And today we import tire. So things like tire you use. So Africa is a great place. We have everything we need. If we can improve on technology, starting with power supply, because there's no industrialization without power.
That's true.
Without electricity, nothing can happen. I have a small farm in Africa. I used to buy chicken feed for maybe $10 for sure. I went to buy more feed. They say it's not $7. So why? Because grains were imported from China in the past 3 months. The imported grains were cheaper than the one produced locally, not because we don't have the land, but because when the grains are produced locally, you have to process them, dry them, and package them. Those processes require machines. Those machines are run with generators. Generators are run with petrol or fuel. So the government has to go back and give us steady power supply, improve our currency so we can import machines, and we can make our own tires, our own food, our own medicine, our own body cream. We can do all this in Africa if the technology is ripe. but the white man has played with our brain. Our leadership has failed us because they know the right thing, but they run to America or to London or to Germany to go get medical treatment, and yet leave our people to suffer and die. So that's my take on this. Poor leadership, poor government, poor environment. The environment is not right for anything, unfortunately.
Well, Dr. Ogoji, you hit the nail on the head. Just we are about at the top of the hour, but I want to say a couple of things. Just yesterday, I'm at a conference. This African American lady was telling me, one of our team members, that somebody told her about twin stick, you know, and she asked for it because this person, their teeth, their dentures are perfect. So I was telling her, I said, I totally forgot about twin stick even. So what you are saying is so true. You see, even in Nigerian movies, you still see these parents in the village using their twin stick to brush their teeth. And it's white, no cavities, no gum disease. But talking about isolating this stuff, we need to have research centers and labs built in the continent. A few years ago, I took bitter cola. I know some people have been working on it. I took it to a lab, one of our partners, to isolate the active ingredient, because bitter cola, as bitter as it is, it helps indigestion. Some people say it helps with cold. Other people say it helps with libido. I don't know. But I'm just telling you that I know that it helps with indigestion. It has medicinal values, but why is it not being marketed? Now they are selling bitter leaf capsules on Amazon, but Africans eat bitter leaf almost every day. And guess what? We wash out the liquid, you know, and that's where the medicinal part is, and eat the chaff. So it's at the top. It's the top of the hour. So I would go, Ambassador Lisa. Do you want me to make the announcement, or you want to play the anthem?
Play the anthem.
Okay, go ahead, Ambassador Lisa.
I have sharing rights. Yes, we do. So while we are listening to our anthem, we encourage you to go grab a drink of water, go check on your dinner if that's what you're doing, cooking in between, go check on it, come right back. Should be back in about 5 minutes, and we will continue this conversation after we have our announcements. We'll be right back.
Oh, Africa. Oh, no. Africans, Africans for Africa. 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 Africans have many bright ideas. If only you let us share. If you really want to know my history, please come, sit down, listen to my story. God gave us a wisdom. He guides our footsteps, makes us shine and transform. Hey, as one people with so many cultures, yet indeed we are one. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. Let us all unite behind Africa Online Media Corporation. Stand up, Africans, let's save Africa. It's time to come together, promote awareness, progress, and solution. Hey. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. Africans, Africans for Africa. All Africans can rally for a common cause, to believe without judgment in what our brother does, to identify and resolve our challenges, to allow each other's ideas without regard to standards. As one people with so many cultures, yes indeed we are one. Stand up Africans for Africa. Let us solve all the problems plaguing our continent. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. Let us empower Africans in and out of Africa. Stand up Africans for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. They have all the resources we need to benefit our society. Oh. Education for everyone. If we believe prosperity for Africans, if we believe medical facilitation for Africans, if we believe stand up Africa, yes, for Africa. Africa Online Media Corporation, that's a good way to start. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. Africa is the cradle of civilization, the motherland. Stand up Africans for Africa. We were enslaved not because we were weak, but because of our hospitality. Stand up Africans, let's save Africa. Jump on the Africa Online Miracle Jet. Don't be left behind. Stand up Africans for Africa. Together we shall succeed. Together we will win. Stand up Africans. Let's save Africa. We are writing our own story. The truth, and we shall tell it to the world. Stand up Africans for Africa. No more lies. Africans own Africa.
No more lies. Africans own Africa. We must make sure that we are there doing what, stop sharing. They are doing what we need to do to make sure that everyone knows that Africa belongs to Africa. Reverend Pam, announcements for the day.
Yes, ma'am. It's been an eye-opening month, very enriching, very educational, very empowering, very enlightening, and very emboldening. Courtesy of the proprietor of Trust Tech Online Academy, Professor Akwichek, thank you so much. We don't take you for granted. And your reward will come bountifully. Next Sunday, I'm glad Dr. Ogoji is back. You know, we're going to be talking about the role of STEM in medicine. So between Dr. Ogoji and Dr. Bitazong, you guys select whichever one. Wow. Dr. Ogoji, when you left medical school, I don't think they were using a lot of technology like they are doing now. Even with telehealth, you know, you can actually sit in Spokane and talk with a doctor in Nigeria. That's part of technology. That's so you guys choose which aspect of STEM you want to use to talk about their role in healthcare. And we will be broadcasting from New York City. Ambassador Lisa will be there. I'll be there. Niason will be there. Dr. Ogoji will be there. Professor Akwichek will be there on that Sunday. So we'll be broadcasting live from New York City. And that will be after the billionaire breakfast brunch. We're supposed to be at the beach retreat, but we'll see how that's going to work out. You know, we're going to do that. So, and of course, I put in the chat box the ticket link. Go to africasbrainbank.org or www.africasbrainbank.org and register. Excuse me, our 6th annual summit and charity ball will be taking place at the New York Marriott on Brooklyn Bridge, August 28th through September the 1st. The details are on the website. You know, just go to our website and click the link and you will see it there. Register. We are still trying to get student sponsors for students. We are not asking the students to pay, so we need people to sponsor them to attend the event. If you want to sponsor students, $250, you know, so we need you to either, if you cannot come physically, your money can come. So we need all the help. We're going to be talking about stopping Africa's brain drain. And I am humbled to say I changed the definition of the brain drain. It's not just about the loss of talent out of Africa, it's the lack of access to the global intellectual capital of people of African descent by people of African descent. So not being able to access the global Africa intellect, it's a brain drain. So you can still be in Africa and not be able to access the other brains, it's a brain drain. You can be in the United States and not be able to access the other Black brain power, it is a brain drain. So we will be discussing Africa's Brain Bank as a solution to Africa's brain drain. It is a must attend, and we would love to see you there. The event is open to the public. So go register. We're not selling tickets at the gate. Go and register. All of us have registered. Nobody comes to our event for free because that's a slave mentality. We are not with a consumer mentality. Everybody pays, including the volunteers. Back to you, Ambassador Lisa.
Thank you, Reverend Pam, for those announcements. I wanted to go back to something you just said, and Professor Peter said earlier when we were talking about, I don't know how to pronounce that. Is it air science?
I think it's Yia. Prof, are you around? He's muted.
Yeah, it's Yia.
Yeah. Yeah, I was while you were talking about it, I was kind of Googling the school, and you were saying that this particular school, this virtual school, does not need internet access. And while you were talking about it, I missed how our children should be able to connect to these programs. I don't know if your voice kind of was drifting off, so I missed. Yes, I missed how our kids should be connecting to this program.
Who is speaking next?
Are you there, Professor Peter?
Prof, you are muted.
I'm here. Sorry, I wanted to drink something.
No, you can drink. If you need a break, you can drink.
Yes, I would say we can take a break. And Dr. Crossland, you have been here since the beginning. Do you have a comment or question about what you have heard thus far? It was very impressive, as Reverend Pam said, and it was a lot to take in.
Yeah, so I would just like to say, with what Reverend Pam, Her Excellency, is saying, I would just add, like, maybe some numbers to it. Like, okay, how many brain drain professionals are there? How many do we want to connect in the first year so that it has, you know, more passion behind it, if that makes sense? And more of a call to action, like what, you know, that'll just give people an idea. Okay, like say if there are 100, well, I'm just going to go in my area. So here in Virginia, we have, I want to say 4 pharmacists that I know personally. And when I ask them, oh, do you know the pharmacist over there? Do you know the pharmacist over there? Well, they are kind of like really just laser focused on their work. But I would just put some numbers on it so that, you know, other people understand that you know, right? And that'll just give them a more call to action. Thank you.
Okay, what you're saying is so true. But if you look at the big picture, is the entire race, the entire people of African descent around the globe. And you're right, we can say in the next 5 years or 10 years, we want to have access to a million or 5 million or 10 million brain power. However, the IT infrastructure that we're trying to build is going to cost money. Well, thank God for AI. AI will make it, because when I tried to check a couple of years ago, they told me 1.5 million. Last year, somebody told me 1 million. We don't have that kind of money. But with AI, it can be done for pennies. But we want it to be built by Black people, not Indians. So we will get there. And I really appreciate that. So I think I'll bring that up in our meeting in New York. So we set some goals. How many brains do we want to access in X amount of years? So thank you so much, Dr. Crossley.
Yeah. You know, I wasn't really clear about what she was saying when she was talking about adding numbers, but now, Reverend Pam, that you added that portion, you know, when I think about when I'm at the UN and they're talking about 2030, I was just at a meeting 2 weeks ago and they were already talking about 2050 and 2060. And I'm like, oh my God, but that's what we have to think. You know, the other race of people are thinking 50, 60, 70 years in advance for their people. And we as a African-American and African people, we only just try to think our next meal, our next week. Maybe we're thinking about vacation next year, but we got to begin to train our minds and start thinking about the next generation of people. What is the foundation that we need to lay for the next 30, 40 years? So thank you, Dr. Carlson, for that.
Yeah, and I would just like to add, you know, this is what pageantry teaches me. It's really like a university, because in order to win the crown, we have to have a full business plan. It has to be strategically implemented, and it's a lot. But that's, you know, we have coaches, but you know, we pay for that. We have to pay for all that. So it's money well spent. Thank you so much.
So let me just ask Dr. Crossan one question, because she said in order to win the crown, you have to have so many things in place.
Yes.
And you said you have to have a business plan, and your business plan should be what? How was that business plan incorporated into?
Oh yeah. So even like with Mr. DC, the guys, they come with a business plan, a model, what their platform is. That's what
Okay. So it's their platform. Okay,
yes,
that's why I was just trying to, and I wasn't trying to distract from the conversation that we were having, but I just needed to get that.
Oh yeah, they come with PowerPoints.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Crossland. So back to what we were saying. Reverend Pam is saying she's going to incorporate that into the discussion for next week at the business meeting. We're going to begin to set goals for the next generation. We need to start thinking about how we want to implement these things for our children, for our descendants, for the next generation of Africans and Africans in the diaspora to accomplish. Because without a goal, it's just a dream. Without a set date to reach these particular things, we just got dreams. So back to Nia-san, who has been very, very quiet.
I was just thinking about what is going on and asking myself, after Dr. Gojit spoke, I said, yes, we from the continent, we from Africa seem to have been our own negative critic.
Enemy?
Yeah, we seem to have giving up on everything and only thinking that what comes from the West is good. What about us encouraging each other, one another,
Yes.
and accepting the reality of what we see on the ground, rather than trusting that we'll only have it come from the West? And
I agree. I'm sorry.
locally, what is, like Dr. Goji said, what should government play? What role should government play in order to make sure that somebody discovers something, they encourage him or her, and to make sure that what that person has come up with is made into concrete reality?
Well, I think we need to, we already see what government has done. We can see that, and we see that government has done very, very little. I believe in each one teach one, each one reach one. So my whole philosophy is that we begin to see how we can pour into the individual, because that individual that we're pouring into will be the next leadership. They will be the next governor, the next president. So if we begin to plant those seeds into our children and our children's children, which means we need to be planning 30, 40, 50 years in advance, then we can see a government that will change, and that will change for the sake of the people. We may not be able to do anything about what's going on right now, but we can look to the future. Which is why Africa's Brain Bank and the STEM program is so vital. It is so necessary. And we really need to pour in and begin to lock in. Dr. Crosland said, I think she said she knows 4 pharmacists and none of them know each other. So that's an opportunity to begin to bring those coalitions together, to sit down and talk about what we're doing, how we can do this better. And as I said, let's start thinking 50 years in advance. What is the foundation that we want to lay for our children and our children's children?
That's right. And what is patenting have to do? What does it have to do with whatever we're talking about?
What is what?
Patent, is it patenting? Is it patenting? How do you pronounce it?
Oh, to get a patent on something?
Yes. How can we encourage that on the continent?
Well, if you talk about protecting intellectual property,
yeah,
there are lawyers on the continent that do intellectual property laws. As a matter of fact, our global ambassador, who is an attorney in Lagos, you know, that's one of the things he does. He does commercial law, but also IP. And an uncle of mine taught intellectual property at University of Lagos for many years. You know, so there are attorneys that do that. You have to protect your intellectual property, your trade secrets, your processes, so that people don't copy it and take credit for it. It's very, very important.
Right.
But Nia-san, I think we are coming at the point where you have to do a round of the table.
Okay. That being said, Dr. Crossley, you're always my first target. So please. What is your take so far on science in the world today? What have you gathered? What are you going to submit? What are you thinking about science in our world today?
Thanks for the platform, Her Excellency, Reverend Dr. Pam Fomenong, so much, and for everything that you do. And to everyone, I'm fearless. I can say Dr. Pam Fomenong.
Yeah, you did good. You did
Thank you. I love it. And to Professor Nia-san, and to Her Excellency Prophetess Lisa Parks, and to Dr. Agoji, and to the professor who's here today, and to the global audience. I think that when we start out in the STEM for the young people, is we also update what we say, that one-liner, like, learn algebra, you won't need it, you won't really use it, when you get older. That's what they used to tell us, right? But we do use it. So we can just start there by telling them how important it is. We tell them how important it is to learn their ABCs. So we also need to tell them how important it is to learn algebra. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And take the dates next week. We're together next week. So Dr. Goji, you're welcome back, and your take on our topic today, science in STEM.
Well, I think we have a long way to go, but it's one step at a time. The step begins here. We talk about it, we make plan, we implement it, and we review. We now know that science, anything science has to deal with using technology to solve human problem. So whatever we're doing, if we're not solving a human problem, we're not going anywhere. So solving African problem must begin with us. Otherwise, nobody can do it for us. The earlier we sit up and say, hey, we have to take care of our basic needs, food, shelter, and being happy. And things that goes with this comes with the things we use every day in life, from the water we drink to the cars we drive, the house we build, and things like that. Everything has to be developed by us. And hopefully, one day, our children or grandchildren will learn to appreciate what we have and try to focus on using science as an example, and do our own studies based on our own research and finding, rather than just reading articles from the developed world. I mean, honestly speaking, Africa was far advanced in science those days. Gradually, for some reason, we went backward and backward and backward and backward. When I went to medical school, I heard about the story of my professors in Ibadan those days, the things they developed and the things that they found that were credit were given to the professors who were white then. And it's just a long time. We just have to wake up one day and fight for ourselves and claim Africa for Africans and do things that we think for us. We rely on people to tell us who we are. Thank you.
Thank you very much and welcome back again. Prophetess, your turn now to give your last word.
Thank you. I want to say thank you to everyone who has joined us today. It has been an amazing topic. Science is not just what we learned when we were in elementary school or biology. It is so much more, and we need to see science in everything. See it in the cooking, see it in our cleaning, see it in everything. There is STEM in everything that we're doing, and when we see it that way, we can begin to make different choices and make different decisions. Visit with us every Sunday from 4 to 5:30 Eastern Standard Time. We can be found on Facebook and YouTube. So go there, like us, subscribe, share, invite somebody to come and join Africa Online TV. Thank you.
The chair now has the last word. Well, not last word, because Prof has not given his last word yet.
And you have not given yours. It's been an eye-opener. I'm very excited about the EER science. I will definitely look it up, and the breakdown, this knowledge, Professor Peter takes time to put all this together, and we need to share it. Please like us, follow us on YouTube. We normally stream on YouTube. This will be uploaded to our YouTube channel right after this. On behalf of Africa Online Media Corporation, I honestly want to thank Professor Akwichek for his services, for sharing his knowledge. At least his is not a brain drain because we have access to his brains. Thousands of people have access to his brain. So he is not, his brain is available and will be available for generations to come. Dr. Crosslin, thank you so much. We had planned on unveiling the IT infrastructure next year by God's grace, but we would definitely put a goal and some numbers, going forward. Thank you very much. And that's one of the things I like about this show, because it's unscripted and we learn every day. We come here to learn and to share. So, and to our viewers, please share this information. Don't keep it to yourself. It will change somebody's life. And I want to say this to the parents. Charity begins at home. Start training your children on science, technology, engineering, math at home. If you're a mother or a father, whoever cooks at home, bring the children around, let them learn. that cooking is science. It's not just an art, it is science. You put different ingredients together and you come up with a product called food or a meal, you know. So and they need to know why you put rice in a rice cooker and it cooks it perfectly. It is science, it's physics. It's a matter. Once the water evaporates, going from the state of a liquid to gas, the rice cooker shuts off. Simple things like that, expose them to that. It's not all always about TikTok or just being on social media. They're on social media, let them be learning something. Let them go to our social media, our YouTube, and they will learn something there. It's not about watching not unnecessary things that don't go viral because they are negative or they don't teach anybody anything. So start training your children from home. And once we'll see all of you in New York, invite someone, no tickets at the gate. Niaso.
Professor Akwichek, it's been a pleasure having you all month of August. We thank you very much for all the time, for all the devotion, for all the commitment. And at this point, please give us your last word. Unmute, yes, please, and give us your last word as we wrap up the discussion on STEM this month.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, everybody who's listening. As we close today's discussion, let us remember that science in STEM is Africa's gateway to progress. Our continent is blessed with rich resources, young and dynamic populations, and a wealth of traditional knowledge. What we need now is to harness science as the engine that transforms this gift into lasting solutions. Science is not only about laboratories and theories. It is about addressing Africa's real challenges, improving healthcare systems, boosting agriculture, productivity, building clean energy solutions, and driving industries that create jobs for our youth. When we link science with technology, engineering, and mathematics, we equip Africa to move from dependency to self-reliance, from consumption to creation. This is how we turn our classroom into hubs of discovery and our universities into engines of innovations. But to achieve this, we must invest in science education to inspire our young people, especially the girls, to pursue STEM and support Africa researchers and innovators. We must build partnerships to respect Africa's vision while positioning the continent as a leader in global problem solving. The future of Africa will not be handed to us. It will be built by us.
Right.
And science in STEM is the foundation of that future. Let us live here determined to make Africa not just a participant, but a driver of global innovation. Thank you. Come again for more.
Awesome. Niason, just a minute. Like you said, come again for more. If you want more of Trust Tech Online Academy, just go to our website and click on STEM or academics and you will get more. Or you can look up Trust Tech Online Academy online, and also they have a university in Cameroon. So that's where you can get more. You can get it from our website. It's been on our website for months now, maybe almost a year. When you go to our website, go to academics and click STEM, you will see our Trust Tech Online Academy. Niason.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, everybody, for coming. And please, let's make it a date next weekend. Have a great week, and may we stay blessed.
Thank you.
Happy Labor Day in advance. See you in New York.
Thank you.
Thanks.